Radio. Radio now, 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 now,
I did not do that well enough, but I'll get it working later. Welcome back, folks, to Citywide Blackout WEMF Radio. I am back on the air, and I am joined by the wonderful B of the American Family Happily Institute. That is a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
It definitely is. But it's great to have you back here. You were back on your first show a couple of years back, I think.
Yeah, it was 2015, I think.
Yeah, wow, like 3 years ago. Damn.
Feels like 10.
It feels like 20. It really is. We were actually in the old studio, where I was in the booth and you were in the second room.
Yep.
It's like, are you over there somewhere? But now you're here, and this is awesome because you are going to be a part of the Make Music Boston event happening next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Which I'll miss because I'll be here.
Oh.
Damnation! But I'll still have fun though. It'll be good. And you're going to be handing out these wonderful things, kazoos. There you go, folks. You heard me trying to play that before the show happened. We handing out. I broke it.
You might want to try a different one.
I'll fix it later.
Just
all
try
right.
a different one.
I have several here. I will make this work. I will make noise and drive you all insane. But tell me about, so as you could probably imagine, you'll be handing out kazoos. How did you first get involved with Make Music Boston?
Well, I found out about them last year, and it seemed like a great organization. They have a lot of venues, a lot of locations, and last year I was in Dorchester at a park, and it was kind of small, but it was very nice. And, I distributed some kazoos, and this year I was ready for a bigger venue, so we're going to be at Copley Square.
Okay.
On the Great Lawn.
Yeah.
And we're going to be there from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Wow. It's an all-day thing for you, huh?
All-day thing, yeah. So we'll probably give away several hundred kazoos.
Parents are going to be like, who gave out these things?
Yeah.
You're like, they did, Mom!
Yeah.
Like, damn it.
Kids love the kazoos.
What is not to love? It's small. It makes noise. You can probably eat it if you're not careful. But
yeah.
Well, I mean, kids they eat everything. Come on.
We got to watch out for that. That's a liability issue.
Kids, don't eat these things. Okay, they're not candy.
But they're really for adults.
Oh, okay. That works too.
It's okay for kids because kids will be adults someday, so they can benefit also.
That's a wonderful theory. I usually evidence it's not always the case, though.
It's not always the case. We're all kids all of our lives, but the kazoos are very special. They're not just ordinary kazoos. They come with membership in the World Kazoo Orchestra and Marching Band.
Oh, and what is this?
Well, it's a very exclusive organization.
Yeah.
Everyone is welcome, but not very many people know about it yet, so it's incredibly exclusive. And these kazoos also have been specifically engineered to increase happily.
Oh, okay. And what is like happily? I know we've talked about that before. But...
So it's a big question that people ask because they think that it means happy, and happy is not always appropriate or necessary. But happily is inner peace and self-actualization. So it's about building your best self and building a calm and a peace within yourself, which will help you weather the storms that we have so many of right now.
It's you know what? I feel like we're in like the movie the day after tomorrow, and except for like snow and driving wind and torrential rain, it's just endless hate.
It's
basically.
a very bad movie. And
it's a terrible movie.
I really dislike it. I would like it to end. But, as we like to say, saddily is ever present. So saddily is anything that is going to infringe upon your inner peace or your ability to build your best self. And it's certainly always the case that there's always some saddily out there. But unfortunately, at this time, saddily has been enabled at the highest levels.
Yes, it has. It has. So like the happily is kind of like a shield to kind of help you deal with the omnipresent negativity out there, which is the saddily.
That's right. Happily is saddily's natural enemy, and it's always stronger. Okay, in the end. It just, sometimes it's not doing so well. Sometimes happily is not ascendant. But it's really unfortunate because, as you know, we were doing pretty well before this.
We were doing great before this. We
were on our way.
We had a guy in charge who was awesome. He was uplifting. He was an uber nerd. So there really is nothing not to like.
Well, I mean, he's not perfect because he's a human.
That's true, yeah. He screws up.
And also, it's a really tough job, and it's not possible to be perfect in that job.
Yeah. Look at pictures of him. Of course, we're talking about Obama. Come on, let's stay names here.
Get the cat out of the bag.
If you look at pictures of him when he was elected, he was like my age. If you look at him afterwards, he looked like he was 70. It's crazy.
It took a lot out of him because he tried really hard. And, there are a lot of people on every side of the aisle who were wanting to be angry at him all the time. And, our organization believes that it's appropriate to be angry about bad things that happen.
Okay.
But then you need to look at what is the target of your anger? What is the effect of your anger, and is it in line with just the reality that these things are complicated? And are you making things better, or are you making things worse? I personally believe, not speaking for the Institute, that a lot of people help to enable the ascendancy of saddily by not seeing what was the real danger when something could have been done about it. And it's all well and good to go out and be really angry now for several years, but many people among my acquaintance could have done differently during the year leading up to the actual general election. So I hope that people will begin to see that you have to start with where you are. So where you are is not necessarily where you hoped to be. So, for example, if your favorite pony didn't win race number 1, and now it's time for
pony.
Race number 2 is happening, it's no longer appropriate to fixate on the fact that you're really mad that your pony didn't win race number 1, because now it's race number 2, and either your second favorite pony is going to win, or a really horrible guy is going to win, and he's going to do horrible things, which we're all seeing now. And that's part of why the World Kazoo Orchestra was actually founded.
Really? Okay.
Because music is a thing that can help bring people together.
Okay. So the World Kazoo Orchestra, do you guys do performances, or is it more just like a general organization that everyone just kind of be a part of, like a community?
Yeah, it's both. Essentially, everyone who is a member of the World Kazoo Orchestra can found their own individual sort of sections, and they can get together with people that they find, their friends.
Sure.
And they can practice on their own and have their own performances any time of the day. But we also hope to have some
2 a.m.
bigger ones.
Kazoo concert. Woo!
True. You don't want to increase saddily among your neighbors by choosing the wrong time of the day. So it depends on your sound control, I think, and where you're located. But yeah, you can join the World Kazoo Orchestra just by getting one of our special membership cards, which will come with the kazoos that we're handing out on Thursday the 21st at Copley Square. I keep wanting to call it Plaza, but apparently it's Square. But then also we're going to be hosting eventually some practice sessions and some performances. So we'll have a sign-up sheet for you to suggest when you might like to come to a practice session, what are the good times for you, and also to suggest songs for us to learn.
Ooh, okay. What would you like the orchestra to perform?
Well, we do have one guaranteed theme song that everyone has to learn. It's a Small World After All.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. I can
and
hear it,
that theme song is a little bit of an annoying sound, but but it does represent our beliefs and our theme, which is that we can all be a part of something. We can all come together,
Sure.
To the extent that it's possible, and try to find a way to get along. So that's why, and we include everyone. So that's why that's our theme song. But we're looking for other songs. So we're looking for suggestions from the public for other songs that are about happily, or can lead to happily, or they're about getting together. Maybe I'd like to teach the world to sing could be a song.
That could be one, yeah. All right.
Anything that could sound good on a kazoo.
Okay, I'm going to suggest Jump Around from House of Pain because that never fails to get people moving. It's a great song. I love it. It's like a song of the 80s, which is where I'm from. So I would humbly suggest that one if you could, and it gets people moving, though.
It's very challenging on a kazoo orchestra, though. I think maybe we might have to add some instruments.
You can make it work. I think it's,
okay.
It just requires a little, creativity around the harder notes, but it's a pretty straightforward song. I think you could do it. I got faith.
Well, I think we'll put it to a vote because the kazoo orchestra is a democracy. So
okay, fair enough.
We will put it to a vote, though.
Okay.
I'll put it on the sign-up sheet.
I will make the motion that we learn Jump Around by House of Pain.
Yeah, we'll definitely include that in the nomination.
And I will take part in that. Okay, I will be a part of that because I'm not going to just throw it out there.
Great.
And not join in because that would be kind of a dick move.
Well, our hopeful first performance in public with the kazoo orchestra will take place at some point at the Cambridge River Festival.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah.
And we have an event that we participate with for the past 4 years now at the River Festival, and that's actually where these kazoos debuted. It's called People Sculpture Racing. It's very amusing, very much a spectacle, and it opens the Cambridge River Festival every year now.
Oh, cool. I've never actually gone to that. In all my years living in the city, I never actually went to this, but... what is this event about? Is this another arts festival?
Yeah, the Cambridge River Festival is an arts festival. It happens along the river near the Galleria Mall now.
Okay, yeah,
that's
so
the
I know what you're talking about.
latest location.
Yeah.
And People Sculpture Racing is a wild ride. Literally, it's a bunch of people with all kinds of weird contraptions, and they're pushing and pulling, and there's performative aspects. And AFHI participates. We race to spread happily. Okay. So we're not trying to be the fastest. We're trying to spread the most happily.
Okay. All right. It sounds like an awesome event.
It is a lot of fun. And that's where we debuted the very first iteration of the World Kazoo Orchestra kazoos. And we gave away 440 kazoos that day.
Oh, my God.
That was
That's a lot of noise.
2 years ago. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I'll bet.
People loved it. I was teaching people how to play kazoo all day.
Oh, my God. That's so cool. All right, folks. We are going to take a little break, and then when we come back, we'll be talking more about the Institute, about the work they do, and, of course, happily and sadly, why we need more of the former, because latter, it's never going away. It's always around us, so we do what we can to fight it. In the meantime, here's a song that I think will help you feel a little better. It's called Talk of the Trees. Sorry, cursor was in the way. From the duo In This River, Citywide Blackout, WEMF Radio.
Whispering their stories of old, watching life's tiny footsteps unfold as we are just making our way. Yeah, we walk swiftly underneath the cover of these cold, tired leaves. The dark of the night is lit by our own minds. Ooh, together we will shine. Together we'll shine. Fire brings warm company to the places that we've never known. Familiar faces in an unfamiliar night. Stick together through the weather of the mother's eyes and the light of the sunrise. Ooh, together we will shine. Together we'll shine. So open up your mind, to what you love, and open up your heart, to the creatures of life, they bloom beside you. The creatures of life, they bloom beside you. The creatures of life, they bloom beside you. Oh.
You are listening to WEMF Radio. The radio
Welcome back, everyone, to Citywide Blackout. This is going to be the new intro every time we come back from a break, so get used to it. It's not changing. I am joined by the wonderful B of the American Family Happily Institute, which you can catch next Thursday, June 21st, from 10 to 4, as part of Make Music Boston at Copley Square. It's a showcase of like hundreds of musicians and performers for all ages. It's a wonderful time. Pretty much free dollars, but I do want to say, if folks have like their tip jars out, donation bins out, give them some money. Give them $1, give them $2, give them $20 if you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and even if they don't, because we never put a tip jar out because it impedes audience participation. But that doesn't mean we won't take your money. If you want to ask us, we'll say yes.
Exactly. Give them some money because these things, they're all like self-funded. They pay for it out of their own pockets. So if you can kick in a few bucks, it's much appreciated. Support the arts, as always. So we were talking earlier about some of the recent things which the Institute's doing. But why don't you give us some history as to how it all came together in the first place?
Sure. So the American Family Happily Institute was founded by myself and my 5 identical sextuplet sisters. We grew up in a very banal, normal, middle class, middle America, normal family, but it turned out that there was a lot of saddily in our family.
Sure.
And it took us a while to sort of realize that, and then we decided to study saddily, so we studied that for many years, and eventually we determined that understanding saddily didn't actually make happily happen.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So we founded an institute where we hired hundreds of scientists, psychologists, sociologists, historians, statisticians, educators, philosophers, and poets. And they were all on staff, and in fact, they still are, studying happily and what it is, what makes it grow. And now, after 14 years of research and study, we have launched our public education and happily spreading endeavors, which we launched 4 years ago.
Okay. Wow. Hundreds, huh?
We're very big. We're America's largest future institution.
Oh my God! So you're like a like the Federation, basically, you know?
Exactly like that. Yeah.
Discovering and journeying and exploring stuff.
We're gonna help launch the new utopia.
Oh.
And
okay.
we're not gonna control anything, but we do think that people will want us to take the lead.
Hey. You got my vote, honestly. You can take over anytime you want, okay? Please.
We're getting there.
Yeah, I like this. So the basic message seems like you're not necessarily trying to change people's lives, like force them to change. You're sort of giving them a different outlook on things. So sadness, it's around us all the time. You can't change that. It's going to happen.
Right. I mean, you can change some things, obviously, and we encourage people to believe in the power of the possibility of change.
Sure.
But some things are not in your control, and there's a lot of other people out there. And as you may be aware, other people suck.
No.
Yeah, but
how would you know that?
It's true, but we're all other people once in a while. So we have to usually tolerate and deal with those other people. And obviously you want to surround yourself primarily with other people who suck the least. But there's going to be a lot of other people that you have to deal with. So the idea is not to use force or compulsion, but to convince people through the beauty of entertainment and fun that maybe they might want to think a little bit differently, and also to offer people tools to help with their own emotional regulation, because when you're not in a regulated state, it's harder for you to be effective in changing the things that you don't like about the world.
All right. So people's emotional regulation right now it does seem like things can kind of shift very very easily into the negative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all you have to do is spend 5.3 seconds on Facebook
to read
boom,
the news.
you are just heated about something
every day.
Someone's gonna post and get you furious. Be like, angry response right now.
Yeah.
Boom. How do you counter something like that where you can be so instantly just infuriated, basically?
Well, it's not that I want people to give up their anger.
Sure.
Anger is a legitimate emotion, and it's a powerful tool. But the problem is when we live in anger, and especially right now, we're because saddily is ascendant at the highest levels of our nation and a few other nations. The negative input is so great. It's every day. It's impossible to feel those feelings constantly and function.
Yeah.
So this tool we have actually many tools, but one of the things that this tool, the World Kazoo Orchestra and Marching Band Tester Kazoo, is useful for is stopping rumination, which is when you can't stop thinking about things.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, that initial jolt of anger, okay, that's legitimate, okay?
Sure.
But if you are you can't quit thinking about that thing, whether it's that thing that president of the United States did today or yesterday or the day before or the day before that.
An hour ago, 5 seconds ago.
Yeah. Or whether it's that thing that your special someone did or that you interpret that someone did, okay? Because it's not always... our reactions and our emotions are not always actually a totally accurate representation of what the world fed us. Sometimes we misunderstood. And so at any rate, when you can't stop thinking about things and you're ruminating, there's a special exercise that you can do, and you can do it without the kazoo if you don't have a kazoo. But if you have a kazoo, you just blow into the kazoo one word, and that word is quack. So you go, and you just do that over and over if you need to. Sometimes you have to do it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And that stops the rumination eventually.
That's actually a really good idea because I'm definitely very good at ruminating. When I get something in my head, I don't let go of it. I obsess, and usually it is actually about things I did before. Why did I do that differently? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And that's something that is a hard train to break. Because once you get on it, boom, it is going in circles.
Yeah, and it's a very, very common problem. Rumination is a big problem with clinical depression, which is a form of saddily that about 10% of all people have at any given moment.
Sure.
And those numbers are probably way up right now, I have to say.
Oh, they have to be. Well, especially I think among teens, because the cyberbullying, again, going back to Facebook, kids can't get away from the bullies these days. So you're always hearing about some poor kid who's killed themselves or tried to kill themselves or has talked about it because they are constantly being harassed. Like, remember that was in the news last week, the actress from the new Star Wars movie.
Star Wars movie.
She got off Instagram because she was being constantly harassed over, God forbid, she should be a woman. Oh my God! But of course, Star Wars fans lost their shit at that. I
kind of recommend that people not look at that shit because that stuff's really toxic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't participate in whatever social media you want to participate in, but if there's a mobbing or a trashing or a bullying situation going on, the best thing is not to look at it because you're not going to be able to help it by looking at it.
Yeah, no, you're right, and just like thinking about it, it gets me like heated because I'm like, those worthless scumbag assholes, but. And that doesn't get me anywhere. I can't stop that.
But even at a very small scale, most people have situations in their life where they want to be kind of part of a group, or whether that's a social group, just a group of friends that they've met, or whether that's part of something really specific, and they just can't quite get in. They just can't quite fit in, or they feel like they don't fit in, or they feel like they're unwanted. And we have a name for that at the Institute for that feeling. We call it left outness. And that was actually the instigation for the World Kazoo Orchestra and Marching Band.
Oh, nice.
Was that one of my sisters, Betsy, who's very sweet. She's kind of a ditz, but she's a very sweet person. She was feeling some serious left outness. There was a group that she wanted to participate with, and a lot of people had been telling her, hey, this group is great for you. You're going to love this group. Mm-hmm. They're going to love you. You and they do very similar things, and you're just going to be great together. So she, of course, went to them and said, hey, I want to be part of your group, and it didn't work out. They didn't let her. So I actually founded the World Kazoo Orchestra and Marching Band to cheer her up. And I went to the scientists first, of course, because I always do my research.
Of course.
So luckily for me, I don't just have to get out the Google machine. I have several hundred scientists that I can pull. And I got them working on it. And they determined actually that of all the instruments, because, music brings people together.
Sure, yeah.
So I wanted to start a band. And they determined that of all the instruments, the kazoo has, its tones have the most happily increase of all the instruments.
I get that, yeah, definitely.
So we decided to start a kazoo orchestra and marching band for Betsy, and it's been working out great.
And I'm wondering when the Harmonica Symphony Orchestra is going to be launched, because that's,
We're going to have some extra instruments in the kazoo orchestra.
Or the slide rule?
Yeah.
It's very, happily sounding thing.
The slide trombone?
No, the slide rule, the
Oh, that whistly thing.
Yeah. That whistly thing,
Yeah. That would be good.
It's actually built kind of like a trombone because you kind of slide it in, slide it out.
Yeah. That would be good. We're also trying to get some ukuleles.
Ooh, the ukes. You
And
gotta
we
have
want to
that.
have a ukulele section,
Some tambourines.
tambourine section, triangle section. So even though it's a kazoo orchestra, it's going to have several sections.
Okay. How about the castanets? Those little collection
Oh,
things?
those would be good.
Yeah.
They would definitely help with that jump around song, I think. They would
I
help.
planted the
Need
seeds
some percussion
now.
in there.
oh, you got it. Yeah, that's definitely got a lot.
We also are going to have a piano. We have a marching piano.
Okay, I was gonna say,
That
that's
someone's
going
to
to move.
Oh, it's very compact. It's only
Oh.
about 2 feet wide.
Okay.
And
nice.
it's wood. It's bright red. It's very beautiful. So you're going to
Nice.
see that someday.
All right. I'm liking this. All right, folks. Well, if you are hearing that music in the background, it means we're going to be bringing this thing to a close. Just for now, back in just a little bit. But B, it's awesome having you back here. And again, folks, that is next Thursday, June 21st, 10 to 4 outside Copley Square, the whole grassy area right next to the
Yep,
center.
the Great Lawn.
Is that what they call it?
That's what they call it, the Great Lawn.
It's not that great.
Oh,
It's
well.
nice. It's nice. I don't know if it's great exactly, but
Maybe we
anyway.
could call it the Good Lawn.
the meh lawn,
But we'll be with a big yellow umbrella. So
Oh.
look for the yellow umbrella. It's very
Okay.
large.
Okay. And get your free kazoos and your free membership into the Kazoo Orchestra be a part of that. And where do folks go to learn more about you and to join up?
Well, they can go to happilypeople.org.
All right. Okay, folks, we're going to take ourselves a little break, and then when we come back, we'll be joined by the band FBGM. In the meantime, here is a song from Nolan Driscoll called In the Jungle, Citywide Blackout, WEMF Radio.